are a superstar. Symbol of a woman who be working for herself. You are a superstar. Owamie, 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 Owamie. You a vlogger, fashion over. You a being one less than I'm a ghost. Owamie, 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 Owamie.
Hi ninjas, how are you guys doing? It's a Owamie aka Miss Fear Focal, praying back for our entertainment. If it's the first time joining me, most definitely welcome. Please do make sure that I subscribe and obviously hit the bell. I absolutely love you, and do not forget, follow me on Instagram, TikTok and Twitter. It's at boldly Owamie. Now my ninjas, today we're going to talk about David Tlale and a guy by the name of Mr. Zeki Kins, okay, on Instagram. So I'm gonna go ahead and call him Zeki for the rest of the video. And Zeki is coming out, you guys, and he's coming out with some real serious strong allegations against David Tlale. For some of you that do not know David Tlale, he's like a mogul in fashion, my darling. Okay, he designs, he you know, he's a designer, basically a successful one, I should say. So this is what Zeki said. He said, this man with ulterior motives got close to me at 21 years of age while working for AFI SA, which is how we met. Forged a friendship. I was charmed and inspired by him, a role model to me at the time, and to cut a long story short, he drugged and sexually assaulted me. He then exploited me of my skills during the pandemic. He would ask I write him pressers, sponsorship proposals and other strategies / copy. Promised to pay me often in clothing but wouldn't actually. And when I'd remind him, he'd get defensive and gaslight me. He later offered me a job as his PR and comms manager at my most vulnerable. I think 2 weeks out of rehab, unemployed, he played around my desperation for purpose. Tricked me down exactly 66%, I calculated. Less than what both he and I knew I was worth at the time. Gaslit me and lied to me. Believe he had bigger plans for me in his brain. Continued to use me. Commented on my body and weight gains in the office during my most insecure days when I was literally gaining weight daily. A side effect from my depression medication. And then he tried so hard to crush my self-esteem and confidence. I left his brand after 3 months working for him and saw never to work in the fashion media industry again. A passion and a vocation of mine, okay? Continues and says, it took me almost 2 years to realize that I didn't deserve any of that. To fully understand that is what in fact that it was in fact sexual assault, that I was taken advantage of, and just how pure my intentions were. I was young, fragile, heartbroken emoji, and since realization I've been crying myself to an unhealthy sleeping routine and told none until my family this morning. Realizing this has been upsetting, confusing, sad, and anxiety, including I've been in denial and constantly burying this trauma. At some point I was suicidal, blamed, and basically fell out of love with myself. Now continue to heal and build a stronger self-esteem and confidence. Today, 3 years later, is the first time I shared this with anyone, and it's on here. I don't want anyone to play me the world's smallest violin. Victim mentality is not in my nature. I guess it's solely me transcending past this and basically saying fuck you so much. He mentioned David Tlale. You're a rapist, a coach, caster, and overall a narcissist. God bless you, but first find God. Okay, So basically after this, I did go to his stories, and a lot is being spoken over there. So this is what he said in his stories. He said, I'll talk to Musa, y'all talk to him. I'm beyond SA media. Fuck this capitalist niggas. Y'all don't care about anyone's story just for reach sake. I'm being advised by trusted people to amplify my story. I'm listening, but I stand. Fuck the media. To the media, call David, talk to him, Batong, he's your guy, okay? He then says, we've all seen this with the media before. Y'all just give the victim a platform to essentially ask them, yo, uzauthini ke ngoku, get a grip. See shit as is, not how people tell you it is. That's discernment, okay? You're so naughty if you trust SA media. I literally know everything I'm doing down to how I'm living. How dare would I move without intention? I'm God-led. My ancestors' protection is on its own type level, okay? And then it says, I owe myself to off-burden this trauma. I'm trying every day. I'm inspired enough by everyone who's been through similar experiences and worse. Thank you for sharing your experiences with me. We are all hurting, but only we can free ourselves from the hurt. Kamagu, I don't know if it's Kamagu. Then it says, I vouch to continue hurting towards healing than to not feel at all. Continues and says, I'm learning and understanding my voice with your help as well. So thank you. Obviously not put together, whilst also very well put together. Always, it leads with love and purpose, okay? Now under this guy's comment section, people are definitely, there are people that are actually you know, supporting him and just basically telling him how proud they are of him, basically like just coming out now, okay? When it comes to this story, I did see a lot of people were saying, why are celebrities quiet during this? Why are celebrities not talking about this? And you know, and now ninjas, honestly, I honestly don't know what to say and put it into the right words. I think there's a lot of information that Ugai did not actually put out here, okay? And I'll go ahead and tell you guys which information that I personally feel he just did not put out there, okay? So Zach, okay? Oh, so it's not Zach, okay? So he's out here talking about how he met David Tlale. He was still young. David Tlale took advantage of him in terms of he would ask him to do certain jobs and say he would pay him with clothing which he's claiming or alleging that he never received. And then after that, he's saying that he was employed by David Tlale, who then abused him, and he was actually like talking about how fat he is, or commenting on his weight the time that he was gaining weight from his depression medication. So he's saying that when he got the job from David Tlale, he was at a point where he was desperate because, you know, he was coming out of rehab, and you know, and now I think that the part that I'm more interested in is the part where he's talking about the sexual assault, okay, where he's saying that he was drugged and then sexually assaulted. Sexual assault, you guys. He also then went on to call David Tlale a rapist, né? So I honestly just need to know, okay, the timeline of everything that happened. When did this happen? Did it happen the time that you first met him? Did it happen the time that you were now working for him? Was that the reason why you perhaps maybe quit the job? And he's saying that he only realized that this was sexual assault. Let me go ahead and just look for this. He's saying it took me almost 2 years to realize that I didn't deserve any of that, to fully understand that it was fact sexual assault. So if he's saying that he met David Tlale when he was 21 years old, and I don't know, as I'm saying, there's a lot of information that is missing in his story. Not necessarily to say the full details, but you can be able to tell us, like, this is the year that this happened, around this month. You can tell us where this happened, what happened on that day, like, you know, was it in the office? Did you guys leave for drinks? Was it then when you got drugged? What happened? Like, that's, as I'm saying, I feel like there's a lot of loopholes or holes in the story that he's saying. Not necessarily holes, man. I feel like there's a lot of missing information. It's not a filled story for me personally. And so if he met David Tlale when he was 21, and whatever, you know, what he's saying happened, let's say happened, and he only realizes 2 years later that that was actually sexual assault, and then he goes on to say that to call David Tlale a rapist, right? My question now is, guys, a 21-year-old does not know rape or does not know sexual assault. Like, I'm asking. And this is not like we're talking about 1980 where a lot of information was not out there. Our children, even us, we were taught at school. I'm 32. We were taught at school what rape is, and so I'm just a bit confused in terms of why would you take you 2 years to actually realize that was sexual assault? Would you not know at the age of 21 going for, because he's saying that he was 21 when he met him, so clearly it has to have happened after him being 21. But what I'm asking is that a 21-year-old guy, guys, does not know sexual assault, does not know rape. And sexual assault comes in different manners. Okay, someone can come and touch your boobs, that's sexual assault. Someone can come and touch your butt without your consent, that's sexual assault. And then obviously rape as well, that's sexual assault. And so him calling David Tlale a rapist, but he didn't get into the full details of this is what happened, this is the day that he raped me. Not necessarily the date. I'm sure that you can forget maybe the date, I don't know, guys, but I feel like you can definitely remember the year. And you can definitely remember like the month, you know, to say, oh, it was on this day and this had happened to lead to us being here and to lead to him taking advantage of me, and so for me, yeah, I think that I'm gonna just be one of those people that I'm not really going to comment too much when it comes to this up until more information comes out, because how do you comment on something that I don't even know? Like, okay, there's a lot of information that is missing out, as I said. Now the other part again that I think that maybe I just wanted to talk about is that he's saying that he's going to talk to Musa and you all can talk to him. So I guess he's saying that like when journalists want to talk to him, I don't know, should they now call Musa for the story to get the how do they say this, like what happened? Is Musa Kaula the best person? You know, Musa Kaula, who we all know, number one, like he just, oh guys, he struggles with keeping his mouth shut. Is he not the same person that came out and spoke about Mam Kizi gave him $1 million, or is to give him $1 million towards his YouTube channel? The same person that spoke of how Leroy actually gave him 20,000 to stop talking about Tlale. And so clearly this is a guy that can easily be bought. Would you want that type of a person being the one to actually talk to the media? What if he does talk to the media and someone pays him to say this is what you need to say, and that's what he actually goes out there and say? He has taken money before to not talk about someone. I'd find it difficult to believe that he would not take money for him to talk to someone. So when it comes to this whole situation, honestly guys, I just do not know. I feel like there's a lot of information that is actually coming out that is just not enough. You know, there's a lot of information, but just not really enough for me. David Tlale has since posted this, and what he said was some very serious and quite damaging he said some very serious and quite demeaning allegations leveled against me and my professional brand have surfaced over the weekend. These allegations are categorically false and only seek to cause me serious harm and also seek to undermine the lived experience of those who are real victims of sexual assault of any nature. While I consult with my internal team of experts on this matter, this shall be the first and only comment on this issue until I'm advised otherwise. Now, I think that also before I leave, one of the most important things that I feel like I need to talk to is that if you are someone that is out there and you scream false rape, you are the biggest scam of the universe, because let me tell you why. You take away the opportunity to real victims. The way that there have been so many people that have come out and screamed false rape, it makes it a bit difficult. Sorry, my memory card got full. But for us to just like believe victims when they come out the first time, you need to literally like listen to the story. Where else back then, before this whole situation where when you have got an agenda against someone, you have to scream, oh, the person raped me. When this is an ex that things did not work out, you have to scream, oh, somebody raped me. Or when it's this and that, you're literally taking the movement back, because now it makes it difficult for people to even believe real victims. And it's so sad, because it makes the victims have to work harder in order for their stories to also be heard. So if you're someone that does that, or you're someone that is ever or is thinking of ever doing that, please do not. Don't just think about yourself and maybe your broken heart that things did not go your way. Think also of the victim that was honestly raped, and how this is also going to affect them. And with me saying this, I'm not saying that Ugai is lying. I'm just simply saying that as much as it's talking about, okay, he was abused, those are the allegations that he's saying that he was abused, his weight was picked on, you know, he was made to work and never given the clothes that he was supposed to have been given, the pay was cut or something. Can you please then just tell us about the actual rape and the drugging that you are talking about, so that we can know? Because right now, even if I was to scream, I believe you. I believe in what? Like, I don't know anything. Someone can't just come and say, oh, I was drugged and raped. When did this happen? How? Not the gruesome details, but at least you can know which day, in terms of like which month, which year, what had happened. Like, can you please just come out and tell us that story? And so maybe that's one of the reasons why the celebrities are very quiet when it comes to this. How and what are you going to say? Yes, we do understand that maybe he was a horrible boss, but that does not make him a rapist if he did not rape. So we need to know about the rapist part. And when you just go ahead and comment down below and tell me if you guys actually, like, you know, agree with what I'm saying, to say we just don't have enough information when it comes to this. And go ahead and comment down below what you guys think of this whole situation. Do not forget to thumbs up this video and versus share. From Owamie, aka Miss Fair for call. I'll see you guys in my next upload. Bye, ninjas.